Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're back for the Liver Awareness Show. We've moved it from a Tuesday at 6 p.m. to a Sunday evening at 7 p.m. or any time during the weekend whenever we can fit in. We've got Dan from MoorHouse TV. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, yourself, pal?
Yeah, not doing too bad. Someone told me I hear it's your birthday weekend coming up, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'm turning the big 30 on not
It's
this
40, 30.
Tuesday, not this Tuesday, the Tuesday after. But obviously, this is the weekend where
You sure it's not 40, not
it's,
30?
it's definitely 30. I need a shave. I definitely need a shave. At the moment, my face represents my ball sack, mate. Honestly, that's how bad my face has got. I need to shave.
I'm going to leave that right there. All I can say is Manscaped and other gardening products are available. Unfortunately, we're not sponsored by Manscaped for the minute, so there we are. Unfortunately, we can't give you some discount or anything like that. Go check it. Maybe if you get one on FTV, they might help you out. But make sure to.
Oh, we'll start as I mean to go on, mate.
Next
Honestly.
minute, you'll say this whole live awareness show is to raise awareness about erectile dysfunction or something. Anyway, it's already gone to part way about 2 minutes in. Anyway, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Do hit the join button to join the membership. Because as usual, even if it's a live awareness show, we're pissing ourselves laughing anyway. So you'd want to join in. Loads of perks and for a little price for donating to Children's Disease Foundation to make sure you do so. And we're talking about obviously like liver stories. So I've had previous people that I've known in the past had liver disease, have grown up with it. Some are not here, some of them are here, and yeah, it's been great to tell their stories. But Dan, I spoke to you I think about a few weeks ago about
Yeah.
a story that you wanted to share. And yeah, I'll let you take over. So take it away with the story you wanted to share with us.
So yeah, me personally, I've had a few liver scares recently, a bit of pains and things like that in my chest that have not been usual. So I've had to go and get them checked out and things like that. What I've been told is I've got a fatty liver to go with my fatty gut. So technically, other than that,
So you get
everything's
to
fine.
choose.
Apparently, yeah, basically. Um, so yeah, I am going to keep a tab on that. Obviously, I don't want that affecting me later on in life. But more importantly, there's a charity local to where I am, where I live here in Burnley, and they're called the Pendleside Hospice. Now, obviously, as a hospice, they do obviously it's in regards to like cancer patients and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, cancer affects everybody. You know, whether it's the throat, you know, the lungs, the liver, no matter what. It doesn't pick a specific area, and it doesn't have to. It'll get you at some point. So yeah, me and my partner and quite a few others. There'll probably be there'll be over 1,000 people doing it on that day. Are doing a pub walk from a place called Fence, which isn't far from where we live, and we're doing almost like a 10k walk. We're a good couple of pub stops on the route, which is good. And yeah, it's all to raise money for the hospice. Now, personally, my granddad was looked after by the hospice. He had cancer. I'm not entirely sure. I know his liver was affected, but I'm not entirely sure if it was liver cancer. But obviously, as the system's shutting down with cancer, it affects things like your liver and, you know, the valves and things like that connected. They start shutting, and you have to have stents and everything else. So,
You say?
what's that?
Is it Pendleside? You say Pendleside Hospice?
Yeah, Pendleside Hospice. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just
So
got
they,
it here, so I'm just gonna get the link into it so you can or everyone can donate to it.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
me and my partner have created a just giving page. There is also the Pendleside Hospice page.
Send us the
Um,
link for that if you can. So put that one in there as well.
yeah, I'm not sure I'll be able to do it now because I'm on my phone, but um, if the missus is watching, she sent me the link. So Kate, you send the link to Stephen, and then he can put it on, and that'd be great if you can.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's it's not just the fact that they looked after my granddad during that time of his, towards the back end of his life. Um, I'm not always like that, Chris. It's you. You've turned me into this monster. But yeah, we just we're trying to raise as much awareness as possible. As I say, they don't just take in people that are, end of life care. They'll look after your family afterwards. They'll make sure you get the right support in terms of, not just empathy, but with everything from, having to cope from being in a in a relationship for so long, like my nana and granddad was, to the coping mechanisms around that of losing a loved one that you've been around with for so long, and now having to sort out bills on your own and things like that. They help people adapt as well. So they're not just one, like a one man band sort of thing. It costs them, I think, roughly what I'd seen was about £8,000 a day to run, which for a little hospice around this area is, quite a massive amount. And I've got no doubt in my mind that that target will be, well, more than £8,000 will be smashed. It won't be the only thing that's smashed come that pub walk. I very much will be disappointed if I'm not. So yeah, it's if anybody out there at all could just out of the 600 odd subs that we've got on our on my Twitter page alone, a pound off them each is that's 600 quid there. It means a lot. So anything you can give from blaming a penny to a 5p, whatever, it really does mean a lot. So yeah, it
Yeah.
just Pendleside Hospice Organisation. As I say, Pendle Pub Walk. It's in September, if I'm right. I think it's the 18th of September. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's just another fun day out. And it's all in the name of charity, which is you're always doing a good thing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, obviously, I think that anything you want to do, such as that, if you haven't, I think what makes it a good day as well is the fact you're donating to charity. Um, and yeah, so just gonna quickly look on Twitter to see if I've seen anything. No, I don't see anything yet, but as soon as I get a link, I'll put it in. But yeah, if you DM me, Kate, if you DM me at SFeatley, with the link, and I'll get it. I'll get it in. I'll get it sorted for you. Big up, Stephen and Dan. Love for you to get your story out. So much respect. Yeah, I mean it's important to get the story out and share. And I mean, the one thing I always done with liver disease is to talk about childhood liver disease, particularly because there's not much awareness. Not a lot of people know much about it. They know that children can get it, but usually when you got up to my age and you see people with liver disease at my age, don't think of kids of him having it as a kid. You
Yeah,
think of it
yeah,
due to other sources. So, um, and yeah, then you can say with there is probably you can say there's maybe a drinking problem in the country and stuff like that, and you can say that's a quite a valid reason, but then it's not really fair for kids my age who have grown up to my age and still having to sort of question and explain themselves why they have it, and they should just say, I've got liver disease, and that's it. You shouldn't have to worry about it. But the thing is that as long as more people get to tell their story, is that more awareness than any just raises, and doing it on a platform such as this always helps in terms of getting the story out there. And also and there's also as well, if you're on like a channel like this, it's monetized and stuff like that, it helps while you're doing that raise a bit of money as well. And anything we do raise from this, so make sure you get your super chats in, you get people watching and share the stream and get people watching, because the more that have watched, the more money we raise, the more adverts you watch, the more we raise from the stream, and the more super chats you put in, the more we raise from the stream. And that will all go, that this from this stream will go to that cause, to the hospice. So that's the main thing.
No, I can't thank you enough already, because you've given me a voice to be able to explain this. As I say, okay, personally they helped my granddad, but there is people in there that are younger than me and you. There is people in there that have, like, as I say, have got testicular cancer, liver cancer, throat cancer, and it's horrible to think that there's people that are younger than you that are going through this, and it makes you appreciate your own life a lot more. When my granddad passed, I was there. It was just me and him. It was a tough time, but without going into the details, it's one of those things that really won't leave my memory at all. You sort of, I sort of went into like a panic, but then also like the aspect of being a grandchild went out the window. It was a case of trying to think about resuscitation, trying to think about all this while trying to keep myself calm. Like, I didn't have time to sort of just start flapping. It was a case of, try and do what you can. And, luckily the next door neighbour at the time, he was a fireman. I thought he's going to know more than me about resuscitation and things like that. When they get bodies out of a burning building and they have to, help them start breathing again. I thought this is going to be brilliant. So when he came, and obviously then I started taking the calls on the phones and stuff, it was just one of those. But yeah, my granddad's gone now. My nana's gone as well. And yeah, this for me is both for them. There's I've done a lot of charity things in the past. I've organised charity football matches. In fact, there's a little town near us called Nelson, and they've got a little football team, and they get roughly on average a crowd of about 40 to 50 people. And I organised a charity event against some former Burnley veteran players. We got beat 11-1 or 11-2, whatever it were. But, scoreline to the side.
It's exactly like playing like Burnley in a way.
Oh, it was so strange, because you felt like these people know how to win, and or not even know how to win, but they have that in their system to go out there, and they know what they're doing, playing that one-touch stuff, or making a run in behind the last defender. I did get the man of the match in that game as well, though, and I were a left back, but we got beat 11-2, but I got man of the match, so I must have done something right. I know I saved 2 off the line, so that was a good thing. That's probably what I got it for. But yeah, we had over 900 odd people there, which for a club that only usually has about 40 people, they'd sold out a beer and everything. It was literally, the day was brilliant. There was kids fun fair stuff that we'd organised, face painting, everything. It was just one of those things. It was just really nice, and we've done a lot for different charities. So we are trying to branch out and do other charities and things like that. So yeah, we are looking forward to even doing something else. I mean, I'll even be in touch with you, and fingers crossed in the not so distant future we can do something regarding children's liver disease. And I'm also going to do something else as well in terms of autism awareness and mental health mind charity. So I have got a few things that I've been looking at in terms of doing a lot more charity stuff. But as of now, that's what's planned, that's what's booked. A nice 10k pub walk for charity, which many of us will be doing in the town. So I'm just looking forward to raising some awareness, raising some funds, and having a bloody good go of it.
That's the thing. I think sometimes having those moments can sometimes bring out the best in people, because it makes them see what's most important. And so something like raising to say something that maybe is happening to you personally, such as a liver transplant or something like that, or like you said, I mean, my dad passed away from cancer in 2019, about 5 days before my birthday. And,
oh wow, sorry about that.
Yeah, and the week before, we knew he was going for a while, but it's like that whole rest of that week, he just wasn't there. And just like it was like the week was just that week was just taking it. The body was just taking its time to shut down, and we already knew from about a week before he was gone. He wasn't really there. We were just talking to him, but he wasn't there. So, and it's like that. That's why I think with this channel now is that yes, we do liver disease as well, but I've always liked to do other causes such as like cancer, which is what my dad passed away from. I've known people with mental health problems, people with learning disabilities, people with all sorts of different types of problems when I've been in hospital to what I've been in. I mean, I go into the hospital now for infusion. There's people with permanent, like they're only about a year to live. And there was one guy who only about a year to live with an operation. He could try it, but it would only have about a 30% success rate. So he probably wasn't even going to get what he wanted. So you think that sometimes when you go in there, that your circumstances, such as I can't be independent, I can't drive my car, I can't do this, I can't do that, and you think your world's coming to an end because all the things you love have been taken away from you. But then sometimes you go in there and you think, shit, maybe that's not even that bad, even though it is bad to most people. It might not be bad compared to some others. So
yeah.
And so maybe that's why it's always important to just do sort of anything you can to help in terms of charity. I mean, like with Children's Liver Disease Foundation, if it weren't for their research, I wouldn't be here. Simple as that. They would never have been able to do not even 3 transplants, let alone 6. So yeah, I wouldn't have been here. So it's always important to make sure that gets done. But yeah, so this amazing thing what you're doing, and make sure to raise as much as we can. We've got Reese in. How are you, mate?
I am alright. I've been listening in. Very interesting so far, I should say.
How's it going, Reese?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. I'm alright, thanks.
I mean, Dan, you see you had like some sort of liver issues, you know. Do you know like if there's been any further news about that, or are you still waiting for results or anything?
Well, I did the usual weird moment where you're in a woman's newborn centre to go and get your liver scanned. You sat amongst all the pregnant women, and I just went in there.
Ultrasound, but usually a liver ultrasound. But there you go.
No, all around here they sent us to Fleming newborn unit, and I just said, look, if it's a boy or a girl, just tell me. And she just said, like, that'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? I said, trust me, after the year we've had, no. But yeah, it were. I went in there. They did what they need to do, poked and prodded around, and then they sent them off. And I got notes back from my doctor about few weeks back saying that it was satisfactory and there's no major concerns. So that's a good sign. But I'd rather him have said it's absolutely, top notch. There's no problems. Satisfactory makes me realise that, okay, keep eating and drinking like you are, you muppet, and you're going to end up flaming, in the shit. So
yeah, I think like in that situation, it's probably satisfactory is probably the most likely situation, because if it was top notch, they probably wouldn't even bothered to do a scan.
yeah,
From the blood test, they would probably work it out. So yeah, but it's always important just to keep an eye on that and to keep a check on that, because liver, you don't really know any symptoms until like it's sort of a bit late. Well, I've always found when I've got symptoms, it's like far too late to sort of act. So, but
yeah. Well, I've still got my doctor to ring me tomorrow for a sort of like a follow-up appointment, and they're going to ask me if am I still getting those pains and stuff like that, because they're going to wonder where it's coming from, because they've done an ECG to see if it's my heart. They said that's fine. They've obviously done the liver and said that's satisfactory. So I don't know where else I'm going, but I clearly must need a full MOT to find out where this problem is.
yeah, and usually when they do it, they usually find out sign eventually. Like technology is so advanced these days, from where it used to be. So, yeah, Reese, I mean, there's anything you wanted to sort of share, or any causes you wanted to raise up or anything?
I think for me, obviously, it's just a matter of, I think mental health is the most important one. It's not for myself, but for anyone else in general, just help promote it, really. Not in terms of promote for own individual gain. It's more of like just promote in terms of individuals who are struggling that don't actually necessarily know how to speak up. And I think Dan's already said the perfect example. Mind, my work is associated with Mind as well. Like we help out with them as much as we can, and it's important, it's crucial. It's just for any individual, it's not easy to speak about yourself.
No, it's not. I mean,
it's not easy.
No, I'll go, but I can openly be honest and speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the back end, towards the beginning of lockdown and stuff, my head wasn't in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
I kept shying away. I didn't want to get out of bed. I just felt I just had no get up and go. It got to a point where I sat Kate down and I told her I don't want to be here anymore. I really don't. And I've just felt like that was it. I give up.
You feel defeated.
Yeah. And the thing where I actually felt happier when I told people that I was ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
It almost like when I said it made sense, and that's what needed to happen. It got to a point where my mum and Kate pestered me. They pestered me like mad. They've literally, they contacted the doctors for me, and in the long run, I ended up having somebody from Mind Matters come round to the house every single Monday. How are you getting on this week? What have you been up to? Have you been using breathing techniques? People do say that, the hardest part is that first phone call. The hardest part is picking up that phone to admit that I'm in a crisis. And I'm the first one to even say, you know what, I struggled. I didn't want them to. I was like, why are you trying to go behind my back? Why are you doing this? But when you look at the bigger picture, they're doing it because they care. And who's to say I wouldn't have done something stupid? So, I mean, I did do something stupid. I started a pissing YouTube channel.
That's fine. Not everyone
with Burnley, mate. But there you go.
Not everyone's got the confidence and the ability to talk about themselves. Mama. 1 second.
Yeah, I think it's just that it there. No one's got really the confidence to maybe go on YouTube and sort of talk about their problems to potentially a worldwide audience. I mean, like if sometimes you could have a massive rant about your problems and that could go viral and thousands of people could be watching it. And that could be so nerve-wracking. Or you go into a major YouTube channel, like I went on AFTV and I promoted about my first interview was about promoting Children's Liver Disease Foundation whilst saying I've had 6 liver transplants. And that was sort of, I thought it was nerve-wracking to start with, but when I finally got with Robbie and started doing the interview, it just came naturally.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was just like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway, so fuck what everyone else thinks. So by the end of it, you have people, and the reason then I started doing my YouTube channel is because I had a few videos beforehand, which I mentioned in the show, in the interview. Everyone then went and checked those videos out. Right, this was literally like the very, 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 very starts of SFeatleyTV, and then from that I was like, wow, like thank you for and saw the messages on the YouTube AFTV on the interview, and you had the odd ones where they were just like, some people were just like, oh yeah, well, if I had thought, I realised like my life wasn't that worth it, and I'm like, well, fuck off then. And it's like some people put in horrible, you always get those minority that put the horrible comments in, and you're just like, fuck, get lost, you wasters. But the most of them, you have people from all over the world saying like, God bless you, get better soon and stuff like that. And like he couldn't even, I mean, even during the interview I said I had to go into hospital the next day to have a little checkup because something was going wrong, and it's sort of what went wrong is sort of what I've got now, because a year later it happened again, but this time it actually punished us. But lucky that time we called it early enough, and he couldn't even understand why I was going to a football game, and the next minute I was in hospital. It's like, welcome to my world. So and it's, and then from there, and then I started doing like updates in hospital, which then added to Arsenal and then F1 content, because I thought there needs to be something more than just talking about hospitals all the time. So putting the things I talk about or watch when I'm in hospital to keep my mind going, and plus the two things I'm passionate about, what has brought us to what we are now and what we're doing now. So it's, yes, and for some people though, it's really nerve-wracking to do that. So
Yeah,
it's always good for the people that can do that to try and speak up for them, to let people know that they've got a voice. They're just scared of sharing it. So because there's always
no,
that
that's true.
repercussion sometimes.
That's true. I just want to say a massive thank you to Maisie as well. Obviously, it really means a lot that you've done that. So yeah, really do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much, as the missus has said, and on behalf of myself as well. As I say, I've put on the Just Giving page that I shared onto the Twitter page the other day, at Turf MoorHouse. If anybody's wondering where it's at, it's on there. It's on Facebook as well under the same name. So yeah, please do head on over and show us your support. I did only put the limit to about £60 because I thought, we thought that's where, if we can raise £60, that's like 30 quid between myself and Kate, that for us both really. But fingers crossed we can top that and at least get over 100. I know there's going to be other people sharing their links and stuff. If there's over a couple of hundred of us doing it to 1,000 people, so yeah, it's just something I'm really looking forward to. Not so much the drinking because I don't know how it'll go, but I'm just looking forward to the fact of being around other people. You're doing something for charity. You're being able to have a laugh while doing something for charity, and at the end of it all, it's the charity that benefits. And they've picked a really nice colour for the t-shirts to wear this year as well. It's a nice claret colour, so.
I thought so.
Yeah, well, apparently the previous years they have been purple and pink. So obviously someone's had to play around with the contrast and the brightness and the saturation buttons, and they found a maroon / claret, and yeah, good to go on that one. So I'm happy for that.
Well, I'm literally just give me 2 seconds. Just
It's all right.
quickly point something out here. Maybe 70.
I say I won't mind doing something like a charity skydive. I think that'd be.
Oh no, you can. There's a lot of things I'll do. I will not do that.
To be fair, I'm not an
YouTube,
adrenaline junkie though. I'm not an adrenaline junkie, so I
that's
would shit myself.
But the thing is, I did the reason I do like I do on YouTube, like I did an 8-hour live stream. The reason I decided to do something like that rather than something active like that, because I can't walk very far. I mean, some days I can barely walk 50 yards. On my worst days, I can barely get out of bed sometimes, and I'm really struggling to even do this. So, yeah. So, I'm just going to share this now. And make sure you're doing the same, guys. Just going to make sure you keep doing the same, guys. Just get to your comments in a second. You got to like what I'm about to do here. Watch this. Here's mine. I'm going to put £20 donation into that for you guys. So,
cheers, mate. That really means a lot. It's really, really appreciative.
There you go. Done.
Really, really do appreciate that.
There you go. Done for you. So, yeah, least I could do is try and help you with that. So,
no, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
No worries, pal. Because you support me with everything you do here, and just by sometimes just by tuning in or coming on the panel just helps raise the money for Children's Liver Disease Foundation. So that's the least I could do for yourselves. And like I said, if you want to help with the donations, all the donations that we raise from here will be going to that as well. So if you want to help in any way, either donate via the Just Giving page link I've done, or donate via super chat. It's easy to put in. It will be going to them. So no worries at all for both of you. Hope that hits your target. Both a credit to be sharing your stories. Always remember, don't make a permanent decision based on something that's temporary. There's always there's light at the end of the tunnel. Do you know what's the funniest thing? After 11th December, right? 11th of December was a key date when I was doing all this YouTube stuff, because I got I had a meeting with the surgeon in charge at the main hospital, liver specialist hospital I was under, and it was basically them telling us they couldn't do anything more. That I was going to be stuck doing infusions every week, and I couldn't go drive. I couldn't go back to university. I couldn't do what I want to do anymore. And this was basically how I was supposed to live for now, until unless it got better by itself, which luckily now it has. But at the time, it didn't look like I was ever going to get better. So, which at that time, I just didn't want to do any more streams. I just wanted to shut off and go away. And I think it was just before I met up with firstly Talk, and then obviously the rest of you guys, because this was planned. This was December. So, and from that, I then just started doing it. I was like, to keep myself distracted from what was going on, I did it every day, just streams every day. And that's what it's been like ever since. And now gradually I've not been able to do so much because I feel like my life's getting a bit better. My levels have got better to a point I could probably drive again. So, yeah, so from that sort of abyss where I didn't think I was going to get any better to what I am now, there always is a chance it might get better. We don't know exactly why they've got better. There could be certain reasons why, but we're not sure. But the main thing is the hospital in terms of what they're doing, the specialist hospital can't do anything more, so they've discharged us for the minute. So I'm only under the local when you were supposed to be under that liver specialist for the rest of your life. So which is hard because that guy who's you've been under that saved your life 6 times. He's done he's done all of my transplants. He also did George Best's transplants. Professor Nigel Heaton, he did all of his transplants, both of George Best's transplants and mine. So, so when you've had someone like that who's so invested into your life, during that meeting, he couldn't look me in the eye because he thought he'd failed. He couldn't look us like straight in the eye because of like the connection of the relationship we had. So
yeah,
I think like the only thing I'd do now is go back to the hospital there just to say, I'm fast, I'm getting better, and 2, it's not your fault. Like, it's just one of those things. So
yeah, of course, yeah.
So, and that's the thing, just never sort of give in to it. They never sort of think that nothing can get better over time. Sometimes times could be a great healer at times. It can also make things, as much as it can make things worse, it can make also things very much better over time.
Yeah, I mean, doing this, getting involved in YouTube and speaking about football has took my mind away. You know, it took my mind away from how I was feeling. You know, because you're speaking football, you sort of think, you know, all your worries go to the back of your mind. You're speaking about something that you love, so it's always nice to do something and speak about something you love. And don't get me wrong, it's like, you know, it's like an alcoholic. You know, they sat there and they have their problems and they feel like their head's in the gutter. And the morning after, when they rough us out, they feel 10 times worse because they just think your problems have come back, but you also feel like shit from the night before. So, you know, when people get drove to drink due to the problems.
Channel, and you've just mentioned about alcoholics.
Yeah, well, I mean, even anybody, really. I mean, anybody itself, no matter what. You know, no matter what you do, if you can.
That out as well. You mentioned about a favourite bottle of wine, and I was just like, you had to mention that on the channel. It was just like, oh my God, Murray Walker moment.
It is one of them things, though, where you sort of, no matter what, as I say, I can talk to you about football now, but as soon as I turn that camera off, I could feel like I just want to lie in bed, don't move, don't want to go out, don't even want to go out. I just want to shut the blinds, shut the world off.
That's what I was doing sometimes. Talk. Great to see you back on the channel, man. All right.
What's happening?
Hope you're well.
How's it going, Talk? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
And yeah, I think you're probably here to tell me like, Stephen, I told you so. You'll get better. I told you so. Right.
What's that? Sorry.
I thought you were gonna come on here and say, I told you so, Stephen. You were gonna get better. So you were saying like I was gonna get better. I was gonna start like driving again or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep positive and that, and keep you positive because I know it must be difficult. I didn't hear all of Don's story, to be fair, but I mean, just listening to what Dan was saying there, I mean, you know what? We're human beings at the end of the day. We're just made up of chemicals and electrical signals. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, every one of us is going to have a moment in our life where things aren't going according to plan. So I have my moments, and it's good to talk about it, mate. Isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's good to talk about it. Just there's nothing. I'm not embarrassed to say that I get anxious, and I had a massive panic attack when I was a bit younger, which frightened the life out of me. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know where I was. It was that bad.
I'll be honest.
I'll be honest. Panic attacks.
I mentioned it earlier. On when I said there's people that don't have the comfortability to talk about themselves. Any of my personal problems, I just move on. I honestly don't talk. I just move on. I don't know why. I just don't have it in me to talk.
But it's a good thing, though.
I got bullied for years of one guy, pretty much in primary school, high school. My mum and dad didn't find out until last year when I finally told them everything. And I didn't get bullied. It was about 8 years ago it stopped. I didn't say a word. I just don't talk about my own. It's just what I'm like. It's not like the whole like men are supposed to be strong, all that bollocks, which is completely 100% factually incorrect. That's factually incorrect. For anyone believes it, it's factually incorrect. Men are not supposed to be the strongest. It's supposed to be about more than that. But I just don't talk about my problems. I would rather put all my invested energy in helping others. I really could not care about my own problems. I just don't.
How old are you, Reese?
24.
So you're 24. Okay.
I just leave my problems aside. I just leave mine aside.
Let me just remember when I had my moment. So I would have been about. I think I must have been about 30. 30 or 31. And up until that time, nothing. I'd always, like you just said, everything, bottle it away, not bothered about this, not bothered about that. But you know what? The danger that you've got, Reese, there is that because if you don't like understand something and talk about it and get it made up, make sense of it in your mind, this is where you can have a problem later on. And if it hits you,
one day it'll come and hit you at once, all at once in one big bag.
Yeah, and it's not nice. It is not nice at all. And at mine, there was no warning whatsoever. Sat there making some music, right, on my PC, smoking stuff, right, blah blah. Great, everything's brilliant. Bang, bang, bam. Next thing I thought, I've got to go to the loo. So I went to the loo. Remember it very clearly. I went to the loo, came back, and as I was coming through the door back to the bedroom, it was like somebody had switched a switch, and the whole world just went like that, right? And I was just like in a bubble, and I was like, "What the?" And I was on my knees. I went down to my knees, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And that was it. I was gone. I was walking around. I went outside, walking around. I didn't know where I was. Asking people, where am I? What's happening? People looking at me like, what's wrong with this?
It's strange because I agree with like what Reese is saying as well to a degree, because usually you try and put your worries to one side, and it's usually always the people that are always looking out for others that people don't seem to think about. You know, everyone sees you as the happy guy. Everyone sees you as the person that's always making others laugh or helping them through their problems. But then as soon as you go quiet, that's it. Everyone's like, "What's wrong? This is out of character for you." Like I'm the sort of guy that will get up to the top of the elevator in middle of Tesco's, could see a mate, 6 or 7 hours away, and shout, "Hey, what are you doing, you dickhead?" or whatever. And then, I've gone through a bit of time where I was like walking up and down an aisle, and I'd see someone I knew, and I'd start looking at everything that were on the shelf instead, hoping that they wouldn't acknowledge me. But if they were to like tap me on the shoulder and go, "Oh, you're all right, you ignorant bugger," then it'd be like, "Oh, yeah, you're all right. Sorry, I didn't see you." And you sort of just try. But there's been many times where I've said to Kate, "I need the keys. I'm going back to the car. I don't feel right. I want to go. I want to get back in the car," and I've left her to do the shopping.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's little things like that, and then you're sitting in the car thinking, "Why were I panicking? Why now that I'm sat here? Why was I like that in there? But now that I'm here, I feel safe. Like, what's the difference?"
Yeah, I don't ever advise people to take my approach, purely because it's just my way of handling. If I start thinking about anything that goes on in my head, or the past creeps in, like the past, you can't escape the past, no matter what, like whatever you've gone through, you can't escape it. I'll never forget it, but the minute I think about it, I'll just relive it all in my head. I'll just flash back every single punch, every single kick. I'll remember it all, and the minute I do, that's when explosions are going to happen. So I'm like, I'd rather not put my energy into thinking about the past. I would rather just let it sit there, and if it hits me all at once, it hits me all at once. I'll deal with it, but I would never advise my approach to anyone else. But I would rather just put all my invested energy and help somebody else, because at least I know I can forget my past and I can help someone's future. because I genuinely don't care about my past. It's gone. If it hits me, it hits me.
Do you know, there's this little trick that I kind of learned, and it was a bit of advice from the doctor as well. And I often do it. If I get that feeling, I straight away, it's like you almost like you take a step back and imagine you're looking at yourself. You're looking at yourself stood there with that feeling that you've got inside, and you're looking at yourself, and you make sense of it, and you go, wait a minute, this is all in my head. Look at me. This is all in my head. Or even go to a mirror and look at yourself in the mirror and go, well, Matt, listen, this is all in my head. There's nothing around outside of me physically has altered right now. This is all in my head. This is me. I'm doing all this. So if I can do this, I can undo it. You know what I mean? You undo it. And I have a set of like positive like thoughts that I go straight to. What's positive in my life right now? What have I got going on? What am I doing? You start thinking about them. Bang, bang, bang. Nice glass of cold water out of the tap. Drink the cold water. Focus on that positive. Focus on it. Don't let it out of your sight. Just right there, right in front of you all the time. Focus, focus, focus. Get your head into doing something that gets your mind going. Whether it be a conversation with someone, just talk. And once you get into that kind of cycle, and you then next time you get them kind of little feelings that we all know what I'm talking about, you just straight away you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know what's going on. I know what this is. Right, I've got it covered. Sweet, no problem. Bang. You know what? Sometimes it can take me half an hour. Sometimes it can take an hour, 2 hours. But eventually, you keep that positive thought process and speak to someone. You don't have to speak to somebody about what you're feeling. You just talk to somebody. Just make conversation.
Yeah.
You just make conversation, and you'd be surprised how much of a difference that makes. Because while you're talking to someone, you're not even thinking about what's going on, and that's where you then have to, you do again. That's where when you take a step back and look at yourself, and you think, wait a minute, how strange is that? If I'm not talking to somebody, I'm just stood now thinking about it myself. It feels terrible. Yet if I go outside and talk to somebody, it's gone. It's gone away. And I'm talking because my mind's distracted. Because you're taking your mind away from it, thinking about it too much. Because if you magnify it by concentrating on it, that's exactly what it does. It magnifies it, because you kind of like tighten the bubble around you. When what you want to be doing is expanding that bubble and even popping it and be like, bing, all right, it's gone. It's like that. You get that feeling when it's gone, and you're like, wow, brilliant, great.
It's why like particular hobbies, I just lose myself in them, and I'm happy to. I can lose myself in a little bubble, and that's enough for me. I don't need to think about, all right, who, like, I could literally just picture a whole scenario in my head and be like, I could relive the whole scenario from start to finish. Walk into a public space. I just need to turn one direction. There it is. There's the pass right in front of me. Open the door. Open. Oh, there you go. There's Reese, a 12-year-old getting his ass kicked. 24-year-old just turns away and walks off. He's like, well, I've seen it. Move on. That's just what I'm like. I just cannot. I can see why people comprehend it, and people want others to open up and explain and talk. But for me, if I talk about my past, I will slip and I will sink, and I know where the tunnel ends. But if I can help others talk about their own issues and give them a sense of, well, I've been through this, I've been through that, so I can at least offer a bit of moral support, it's enough for me to say, well, at least I've done something. It keeps my door opening. It keeps my door open. I would rather close someone's door in a good way for them than open one of my doors and find no solution. Because every single thing that happened to me when I was younger, I could never explain how it happened. I genuinely can't explain how it happened, because I can't even explain where the hate started, because it was genuine hate. Because you're not going to get nearly crippled for no reason. It's just that sort of pain.
Yeah. I hear it. I hear it completely. It's the way we deal with things. We all deal with things differently. we all deal with things differently in our own way.
Exactly.
Always talk to someone. Things always seem.
There's no right or wrong way to handle a situation. There's no right or wrong way.
No.
What matters is you find a solution. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Until you
That's
find
the
a
thing,
solution,
though,
you don't
like,
stop.
I tried, you know, when I was in that like really bad headspace, that sometimes you do get the odd little sort of flashback to not, you know, you do have your down days, you know, but they're not as bad as they were. They're manageable. I can deal with them.
But do you know? Can you know something, Dan? Let me just say this to you. You know, because none of us want to be thinking about that, do we? We always try and avoid it. But you know what? It's a good tool to actually, once you're now in a good headspace, it's a good tool to actually just sit yourself down for a minute and go back and think about, because
where you were.
It helps you make sense of and solidify the position you are in now, the you that you want to be all the time in your head. So you go, then it's like a snapshot.
Like,
so when you go back, you know,
doing this was so much better because I was talking about football. There was a point where I tried to tell myself, right, go out, go and play football with the lads, go and play 7-a-side, 8-a-side, whatever it is. Go and have a kickabout. But then when you're in that bad headspace and you're stood there and everyone else, they're chirpy and you're laughing along, when deep down you're hurting, all it takes, like half of the time, I'd have a shot on goal. I'd have a shot, it'd go, it'd miss, or whatever. And you know, you miss one shot, but then you feel like shit. You feel like, right, I'm not fucking good enough. Today's a write-off. I'm not playing. I can't be bothered. And you sort of, nobody understands when you just think, I've had enough, and you take yourself off. And you know, I had that a few times. I've been in tears. I've asked for the missus to come pick me up. It's, you know, it's been an absolute nightmare at times.
But you've got to not let it become any kind of like comfort, because we can sometimes be we can get comfortable sometimes in certain mindsets that we get. If it happens a lot, you become more comfortable in this other place that you get yourself into rather than the normal place, and that's a dangerous thing in itself. So, you know, like I said, for me, you make a snapshot in your head of, you know, no, this is like right now, if everything's cool and everything's great, you know, you're thinking about what you've got, your family, kids, and everything else, and it's all, you know, at the end of the day, we're all relatively young. You know, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but you know, you guys are, how old are you, Dan?
I'm 29, 30 next week.
Right. Well, there you go then. So you know what? So you're going to be 30, yeah? Hey, you've got kids. You got a job. You got a house, missus. Everything's apart from when you get these sort of moments in your mind. Everything else is cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is everything cool right now?
Yeah. The only worry I have is that, you know, I look back and wish that when I was younger, I saved up a bit of money instead of living paycheck to paycheck sort of thing. But other than that, you know, it is what it is. And
it is,
like you said, I've got my partner. I've got somewhere to rest my head at night. I've got a roof over my children's head.
Yeah.
What more can I ask for?
Yeah. And you know,
absolutely.
The thing is that we all want more. You know, we all want more, don't we? I sit here all the time thinking, I wish I could get this. I wish I could get that. You know, but at the end of the day, when you sit and consider, again, it's about taking a step back and just going, mate, what have I actually got here? What have I got? Can you imagine how many people are out there right now who would just give their right arm for what you've got right now? I always have to remind myself about that, because, you know what, one day, you might get lucky with the lottery, or, you know, a long lost relatives left you shed loads of money and everything else. But I had the little, you know, why not have that? Why not have that thought in the back of your mind? Why not?
It's true. I'm still waiting for my payment, mate. I'm still waiting for my payment from my Ghanaian uncle that I received in an email that's left me 500 million.
Hey, wait a minute. What was his name?
I'm not too sure. I'd never met him, but I'm not sure if he was.
I hope it's not the same guy.
If he's all to do with me and my weight, he's probably called Heifer.
I tell you what. Yeah, I remember the
Probably.
first time I ever got one of those. I was like, ooh, what? I'll have some of that. Yeah. And then he's like, yeah, just send me like blah, blah, blah to finger the finger. And I'm like, mate, do you really think I've just like fell off the tree or something? You know what I mean? Because it ain't starting. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said before, you know what? As long as you always remember, either all of us, that this is not just me. This doesn't happen. This just doesn't happen to me. You see people all the time. You just got to as well think about this for a moment. When it's happening, you go out in your car, you're driving around, or you go to the shop, you're walking about, and you see people. How many of those people are in the exact same position that you're in, but you don't know because they've not told you? A lot. So you take some comfort from that as well, knowing that, yeah, wait a minute, you know, the other people right now are in the same, you've got the same problem as I've got. And yeah, like I say, for me, it's all about the positive thought process and taking a step back and going, wait a minute, and identifying. As soon as you start to feel them feelings, you identify what it is, and you then make sense of it, and you say, no, okay, no, I know what this is, I know how to deal with it, and I know it's going to go away. And then straight away have a set of processes that you go through to get you to where you're not even thinking about that anymore. And within a short amount of time, whoosh, it's gone. And you don't even think about it. You don't need to think about it. You know.
The only horrible thing is that sometimes it can be the slightest thing that can bring something up. So one minute you're in that good headspace, or you get back into feeling positive, not exactly a good headspace, but then, you know, somebody says something and it just reminds you of whatever you're going through, and then the next minute you feel like, don't go there. Like similar to what Reece said, you know, it's like somebody's sort of like creeping their hand around the door as though like, welcome back, you weren't out long, you know, and so you're back into that headspace again. It's horrible, really, really, really horrible. But you know, we will get there. We will get there. As I say, for people that are watching and listening, that, you know, there is help. There is help. I mean, if you are like Reece and you feel that you've got a coping mechanism for you that works, then fair play. You're a lot stronger minded than, you know, than many others, I'd say, because you've got that willpower to be able to.
I'm not sure if it's willpower or being stronger. I just think there's many ways to cope, and I just cope by not letting the past creep in, because when it does, it's hard to escape. I think probably the best advice I can ever give someone is once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it. It's always better, like, if you wish to open memories and go back and think, just remember, like, once you think about those memories, you never know what's going to happen on the other side of that repercussion. It's why I choose to move on. It's why I choose to just keep going forward. Forget the past. Well, as much as I want to forget the past, you can't. I just don't want to look at it. I don't want to think. I would rather put as much energy as I can elsewhere. Here's a bit of advice. Get a sketch pad. Just draw. Just draw what's on your mind.
Sometimes there's stuff like that, or I'll just have my head pressed into my phone. I'll be editing, or something like that.
Lose your mind in something is better than having to reminisce about the past, because you never know exactly what memory you're going to remember first. You don't know.
No, I totally agree. Stephen, did the missus send you that link? You're on mute.
Put it in the chat.
All right.
It's in there now. I'd also cut it down, but I've double checked it. When I cut it down, it still worked. So it should be working. If people, we've got 18 likes on the video. Big up to everyone that has done. Big up to everyone who has donated. Make sure to go to that page and donate. I will put the link in the description, as well as I will put it on Twitter as well. Twitter.
Yeah, big up Charlie as well. Big up Charlie.
Big up Charlie as well in the chat. Big up you two for coming back on, man. For a while, I haven't seen you for a while. And hope everything's okay. We've done it all.
No, well, it's yeah, it's not
So,
really.
yeah. But we can talk off about that if you want to, mate. So,
What was I just going to say then? Yeah, Charlie, if you're listening,
How was the game today?
fuck, Charlie, you
I think
ruined my weekend. What was
I think there's a
left of
little
it, you
song
ruined.
in there.
Oh,
How does that
Charlie.
song go? How's that song go?
I've got a good
This is
song.
how
It
it
goes,
feels to be city. This
This is how it feels to be small. This is how
This
it
is how it
feels when your
feels when your
club
club
means nothing at all.
I've got a better one. I've got a better one that's so relevant.
Go on.
You're my wonder wall. We're top of the fucking league and you're no.
yeah, Wonderwall. Where is that? Do you know what? It's quite clear, isn't it, that Harry Kane's going to Man City, surely.
Hell, that's got to be. Anyway,
He's got to be. He's got to be.
Harry Kane
Do you
goes.
reckon-
Harry Kane goes
what?
to City.
Hang
They
on,
still
we
don't
can
win
all
the
do
league.
that banter. We've got 9 o'clock banter. Right, your rivals at 9 p.m.
We can't rival you. You don't have any rivals anymore.
Yeah, but shush.
You just have to banter yourself, Stephen.
Talk. Don't start on me, please. Right. Plus,
That's it, in.
How did it feel to be stung by bees?
Did I just hear that? Did I just hear that?
I think I cut out. I said I seen Arteta in the supermarket.
Yeah.
The other bits must have cut out.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Was Charlie spurring Man City on to win today?
I think so because he met Gallagher and I don't think it
Yeah.
worked well.
He met Noel Gallagher, didn't he? That was pretty cool, though.
He met Noel Gallagher. I told him to say Manchester's red, and he said, "I can't be telling lies." I was like, "You may as well tell him the truth now."
Anyway, we're gonna have to wrap up there. The bands for your rivals is at 9 p.m. this evening, so that's gonna be fun.
Remember, bring on a Brentford fan because that is your rival.
Wait a minute, what's that?
It's funny how you're doing that to me, but how many goals did Brentford put past you?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Anyway, we're gonna save that for 9 p.m. Make sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and the share button. But talk as well. I just want to talk to you about something because Matt told me something you might want to know. All right. But until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.